Hey y'all, Nico here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thanks for joining me. I'm Nico. This video was requested by one of my subscribers, and the video is how to make money off of yoga. So one of the first things I want to say is, before you decide to go into doing yoga or become a yoga instructor, make sure you're getting a proper training and that you are educated on where yoga came from and its philosophy and its culture and its purpose. So yoga comes from India, but there's also arguments that it comes from Africa as well. You can look up Kemetic yoga to find out more in depth about that. But the yoga that a lot of us hear about and practice comes from India, and it came from there over 5,000 years ago and was brought over to the West by Swami Vivekananda. So you'll learn that in yoga training and all of that, but just be intentional about just learning about the culture, because it did come from somewhere and it was kind of brought to us and gifted to us. So just show gratitude that it is there for you as a way, not only for you to have your own practice, but as a way to have a different way to make money or have a different career path. I like to be grateful that it's available for me to be able to do that, and I always make sure that I'm really intentional about what I do. And I like to make sure that I'm doing things that I want to do when it comes to taking yoga jobs. I don't want to just take a job because I want to make money. It's not fun when you do that, and your spirit isn't in it when you do that. And you know, there was a time I was working at a place and my spirit and my heart wasn't really in it, and I stopped enjoying it. So just make sure, again, that you are intentional about the jobs you do. If you are going in it only to make money, that's not going to work, because for a lot of people, when you go into doing yoga or becoming a yoga instructor, you're not going to be able to just make this livable wage right off the bat. And many yoga instructors know that. There's a lot of studios, most studios, if they are like the studios that I've looked around at, you don't make a lot of money, you know, off of doing one class a day or a couple classes a day. It's really kind of a side job for a lot of folks. So one of the first ways you can make money is to work for a studio and teach at a studio. But again, it's not the most lucrative thing. You are going to get paid, you know, by the hour, and your classes are usually an hour long unless you're doing some kind of special workshop. So if you kind of want to make a little bit of side money and don't want to put a lot of time into it, then that's great. You can, you know, do that once or twice a week, or if you want to do it every day, you can, but you can quickly get burnt out teaching yoga classes, multiple yoga classes every day. I'm sure there are some people who, you know, enjoy teaching yoga every single day, but if you're doing like multiple classes every day, you can quickly get burnt out, because you're working with your body and you're working with your energy. You're extending your energy to other folks. You are using your body to show other people the poses. Like if you're like me, I like to do the whole sequence with my students. So again, that could quickly be tiring and burn you out, but that is an option for you. Another way is to, of course, start a YouTube channel, but YouTube is a slow, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a slow build up to make like real money off of YouTube. Like, yeah, I make some money off of YouTube, but I'm not right now at a place where I can live off of the money I make on YouTube, you know? So you really have to be consistent. You have to constantly come up with ideas. Like, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to consistently, it takes a lot of time to consistently put out videos and consistently put out content that people are going to watch and keep watching over and over and over. That's what you want people to do, is to keep watching your videos so you can generate some income, you know, and also so that you know that the videos are good. Like I said before, don't just put stuff out and do stuff because you want the money, because it's not going to work, and people are going to be able to tell if you aren't genuine about it and if your heart isn't in it. I like teaching yoga and putting videos out because it helps people. It helps people. I'm able to reach people I normally wouldn't be able to reach. I'm able to offer something to people who may have never been able to take a class before. So it's really fulfilling. So just make sure that your heart is in it and that you are intentional about that if you do want to start a YouTube channel. Another way to make money is to do like a workshop or retreat. You'll hear people a lot talk about they have these yoga retreats. They're offering these yoga retreats where it might be a couple days, it might be a whole day long, and you know, you can charge a certain amount for this retreat, but you probably are having other things offered, like maybe you have a spiritual advisor there, maybe you have a Reiki person there. That's not something that I've been interested in because it just seems like a whole lot of work and a whole lot of planning. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there are many times I don't like to do things if they're just a little bit too much. Like I could put like a party together or something, but putting a yoga retreat together is a whole nother story. But there are many people who have successfully put together yoga retreats and who have made a living off of putting together the yoga retreats. And let me say again, be intentional about it, be for real about it, and let your heart be in it if you're gonna be doing something like this. You don't wanna be playing with people's spirituality, with people's emotions. You wanna make sure that stuff is legitimate and nice and that it's gonna help folks, not just make you money. Another thing you could do is to have your own yoga class or to start your own yoga class aside from working at a studio, and that's the route I've taken. Like right now, I do my yoga classes once a month, and there was some point where I was doing them every week, but I got busy with a lot of other things. So to keep from overwhelming myself and not being any good as an instructor, I keep my yoga classes down to once a month. But I also, you know, do my videos, which I have over 200 videos, so it takes up a lot of my time. But again, I'm able to reach a broader audience, and then, you know, it also just helps me to be a better instructor when I'm doing this, when I am putting these sequences together and when I am being creative, and helps me come up with different things I can do for my class as well. And another benefit about doing my own class is that I felt really comfortable in my environment, having it when I want, what time I want, having the class how I want to have the class, you know, attracting the people that I want to attract into the class, like people who have kind of the same energy as me, people who look like me, and that made my experience 10 times more enjoyable. So again, I'm gonna say it 1,000 times, be intentional about what you do, because it can quickly show if you are not intentional or if your heart isn't in it. Another thing you can do is create classes for paid platforms. So say there's a certain workout app, say there is a Patreon, you want to do yoga classes on Patreon, and even on YouTube there is a membership option. I'm working on that for my channel. I know people have asked about that before. I'm working on that for my channel. But you can, you know, do these classes and kind of put them behind a paywall. So if people really like you and they want to practice with you and they want to do this special workshop, or they want to do this longer version of a class, they want to do hour-long classes remotely, you can do that on Patreon. You can do that on some of these fitness or workout websites. You can do private Zoom classes. I know there are people who do Zoom classes and, you know, have a certain amount that they charge for Zoom classes. So that's up to you about how you feel about, you know, putting your stuff behind a paywall or doing a Zoom class. I do not like Zoom at all, but I also don't knock anybody who enjoys doing those Zoom classes. You can do from one person or multiple people, and you can treat it like a regular class. Like people buy their ticket and then they go into the Zoom class. Another thing you can do is have private yoga sessions, offering private yoga sessions. So like there are people who have reached out to me that are pregnant that want private yoga sessions, or people that want private yoga sessions for their party or for like their bridal thing, or you know, for their community. There are people who reached out to me for their like community events and stuff. So being able to offer those services, and people can kind of hire you as a contractor to do things for them, can be very lucrative if you know you are if you feel like you have an amount that's really worth your time when it comes to what you're being paid. Even yoga sessions for corporate companies, yoga sessions for like outside festivals. There's a list of different events or different places where you can offer your services. So just be sure to make it known that you are available for private sessions, or available to be an independent contractor for companies or whatever, and that can help you, you know, begin to make some money off of your work. So I've listed a bunch of different ways for you to be able to make money off of yoga. I'm sure there are other ways you can as well. So if you have any good suggestions or any good ideas about how you make money as a yoga instructor, feel free to leave that down below. My main sources of income when it comes to yoga are YouTube, yoga classes, and being hired as an independent contractor. And I really like that because YouTube takes up a good amount of time, but it doesn't take up so much time to where I am overwhelmed and where I am feeling burned out because I'm doing yoga all day, every single day. Like I still have my own private practice where I do yoga, my own personal yoga practice for me every day, and then I have time to extend myself in those other ways. And it's also important, if you can and if you have the time and if you are financially stable enough, that you know, if there are opportunities to do stuff for the community, that you do that too, because it's just nice to expose people to yoga and let them know about the benefits and let them know about how it can help you, and possibly open them up to a whole new world. So I hope these tips were helpful. Again, if you have other suggestions, leave them down below. I would love to hear them. If you have suggestions on how to, you know, go into being a yoga instructor, leave them down below. Becoming a yoga instructor can be very expensive if your options are limited, but the benefits are so much greater than the cost. So again, if you have any suggestions leave them down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Peace and love.